Today we are going to discuss the Vaughan coat of arms, but before we get started we wanted to let you know that we offer genealogy research service at our website. Please visit us at coadb.com. Alright, it's going to be a long video. There's quite a few to get through. All of the written information will be contained within the video description, as well as the first pinned comment. So the first is Azure, 3 boys' heads couped at the shoulders, having snakes enwrapped about their necks, all proper. For the Vaughan family of Stockin in County Herefordshire, England. Edward Vaughan of Stockin, alive in the year 1752, was fourth in descent from Thomas Vaughan, Esquire of Stockin, who was alive in the year 1622. Similar coat of arms with a crest on a plume of 3 feathers, gules, a griffin's head erased or. This was for the Vaughan family of Bredwarden in County Herefordshire, England. Sir Charles Vaughan of Dunraven and Porthaml was the son of Sir Walter Vaughan, who died in 1637 and was of Bredwarden and Dunraven. He was the son of Thomas, who is the sheriff of Carmarthenshire, who was the son of Walter, also a sheriff, who was the son of Sir Richard Vaughan of Bredwarden, who descended from Sir Roger Vaughan, who died at the Battle of Agincourt in 1414. Also by Vaughan of Porthaml, Sir William Vaughan, Sheriff of Brecknock, had son Sir Roger Vaughan, who died in 1571 and was a member of Parliament. He had son Roland Vaughan, who was also a member of Parliament. Another for Sir John Vaughan of Golden Grove in Carmarthen, Wales, died in 1643. He was a bailiff, a sheriff, and a member of Parliament, the first son of Walter Vaughan of Golden Grove, who was also a bailiff, sheriff, and member of Parliament. And he was the son of John Vaughan II of Kidwelly and Golden Grove, who died in 1575, who was the son of Hugh Vaughan of Kidwelly. Here we see the family estate of Golden Grove. Another for Vaughan of Courtfield in County Monmouth, Wales. William Vaughan, born 1738, son of Richard, who was a general in the Spanish army, who in turn was the son of John Vaughan, who was the son of John Vaughan, who died in 1639. All were of Courtfield, which we see here in the modern day. And the family also bore the coat of arms of sometimes of the Herbert family, which we see here, which is purple, azure, gules, 3 lions, rampant, argent. Another for Vaughan of Sutton in County Yorkshire. John Vaughan of Sutton Place in County Surrey and of Sutton upon Derwent in Yorkshire died in 1577. He was a member of Parliament and a younger son of Thomas Vaughan of Porthaml. Here we see Sutton Place, the family estate. Vaughan of Sutton upon Derwent, Francis Vaughan, Esquire, born around the year 1553, held lands at Kirkham and Withwell. He died in service against the Irish rebels in Cork, and was the son of John Vaughan, and had son Henry Vaughan. Another for Vaughan of Just in County Gloucester, England, as well as Vaughan of Chapwick in Dorset, England. Charles Vaughan of Chapwick, a member of Parliament for Shaftesbury, purchased the manor of Falstone in Wiltshire. He died in 1597 and was the 4th son of Richard Vaughan of Bredwarden. Vaughan of Falstone in Wiltshire, Sir Charles Vaughan of Falstone, born 1584, a member of Parliament, first son of Sir Walter Vaughan of Falstone, who inherited the manor from his great-uncle Charles. Vaughan of Treverven in Herefordshire, England, Philip Vaughan, son of Thomas, son of John, who was alive in the year 1545. And Philip had brothers Richard and Roger. Another, this with a chief with argent with 3 buglehorn sable, for Vaughan of Riola in County Glamorgan, Wales. William Vaughan had relative John Edwards, born 1722, who was a member of Parliament. He assumed his surname of Vaughan in 1829 as a beneficiary of his will. Here we see the family estate of Riola House. Vaughan of Singhorty in Carmarthen, Wales. Reverend Thomas Vaughan of Brecon had nephew Henry Jones, Esquire, who assumed the surname and arms of Vaughan in 1855 per his will. Henry's wife Jane was the daughter of William Vaughan, Esquire of Pennymace. Vaughan of Quilly in County Down in Ireland. George Montgomery Vaughan, Esquire, born 1825, Justice of the Peace, son of George Vaughan, Esquire, both of Quilly, son of Colonel George Vaughan of Villa in County Down, who was the son of Ralph Vaughan, who was the son of Reverend George Vaughan, who was the son of Reverend John Vaughan, born 1675, rector of Dromore and Anenclone, and he in turn was the son of Reverend George Vaughan, born 1634, curate of Dundalk and treasurer of Dromore Cathedral. Here we see the family estate of Quilly House. Vaughan of Tallgarth and Brecknock, granted in the first half of the 16th century to Edward Vaughan of Tallgarth. And I have a note here that says there was a Roger Vaughan of Tallgarth in Troughton who died in 1514 and was son of Sir Roger Vaughan of Tree Tower in Tallgarth, Constable of Cardigan who died in 1471. Vaughan of Woodstone in County Huntingdonshire, England. Thomas Wright Vaughan, Esquire, born 1774. Colonel of Militia, son of Thomas Vaughan. They descended from the Vaughans of Kington in County Herefordshire, England. Sable 3 fleur-de-lis for Theophilus Vaughan of Beccles in Suffolk, alive in the year 1605. Also for Richard Vaughan, Bishop of Chester, who died in 1607. Same coat of arms with a crest and supporters. For Earl of Lisburn. Earl of Lisburn was a title in the Peerage of Ireland created in 1776 for Wilmot Vaughan, the 4th Viscount Lisburn. He represented Cardigan and Berwick upon Tweed in the House of Commons and held minor governmental office, a descendant of John Vaughan, Esquire of Trousgood, who was the 1st Viscount Lisburn, son of Edward Vaughan of Trousgood or Crosswood, a Welsh lawyer who died in 1683. Another member of this family was Sir John Vaughan, seen here, born 1603, Chief Justice in England. And here we see the family estate of Crossover House. Purpale, Azure, and Purpur, 3 fishes, herring, and oar. Crest, a man erect, proper, with arms extended, habited in a jacket, argent, breeches, sable, hair floatants, in the dexter hand a large knife of the second. Granted in 1490 to Hugh Vaughan of Wales, gentleman usher to the king. He had sons Anthony, Francis, and George. Or a lion rampant gules, crest on a 5-leaved cornet, or a demi-lion rampant purfess argent and sable ducally crowned gold. For Vaughan of Carmarthenshire, Wales, family claiming descent from Bledon ap Sinfin. That shouldn't say 1705, that's way earlier, so that's a mistake. He was King of Powys in Wales. Vaughan of Duddleston in Shropshire, descended from Richard Vaughan, Esquire, solicitor to Queen Elizabeth I, in the Council of the Marches at Ludlow. Azure Lion Rampant Azure for Vaughan of Oxford, England. Arms of John Vaughan in the window in the chapel of All Souls College. Dates to the 1500s or earlier. Purpale, sable, and argent, a lion rampant for Edward Vaughan, Bishop of St. David's in Wales, who died in 1522. Or a lion rampant regardant sable, crest and arm holding a fleur-de-lis for Vaughan of Ireland. Many possibilities for this. I've listed several below, including Sir John Vaughan, who died in 1643. He came to Ireland in 1599 as lieutenant, served as a governor, alderman, and mayor of Derry. Received 2,000 acres in the barony of Kilmacrenan. Noah Vaughan of Kings County died around the year 1639. Edward Vaughan of Boncrannig in Donegal died around the year 1658. And several other possibilities. There was Vaughans of Youghal in County Cork, who are merchants and burgesses. Another purfess, sable and argent, a lion regardant counterchanged. Quarterly coat of arms for Vaughan of Doley Malwynlyn and County Merionethshire, Wales, descended from Griffith Vaughan, who died in 1700. He was the third son of Robert Vaughan of Vert, born 1592, an antiquary. And here we see the family estate of Dolly Mellinlin, however it's pronounced, forgive me. Probably obliterated a lot of these Welsh place names. Another quarterly coat of arms for Vaughan of Nanow in Carmarthenshire, Wales. The Vaughan baronetcy of Nanow was a title created in the baronetage of Great Britain for Sir Robert Howell Vaughan, seen here, born 1638. He was succeeded by his son, Sir Robert Williams Vaughan, seen here, who sat in the House of Commons for 40 years. Here we see the family estate of Nanu in the modern day. Berry wavy of 4 gules in or per pale on each of gules, a fleur-de-lis on each of or, a leopard's paw, and in chief a lion's head, all counterchanged. Granted in 1539 to Stephen Vaughan of London, had son Stephen, who had son Sir Rowland Vaughan of St. Mary's Spittals, alive in the year 1633. Gules, 3 boars' heads erased in pale argent for Vaughan of Plas Nude in Anglesey, Wales. Family said to descend from Richard, second son of Robert ap Meredith of Melai and Vron Hulog. And I have a note here that says there was a William Vaughan of Plas Nude, alive in the year 1740. And here we see the family estate in the modern day. Gules, 3 boars' heads erased in pale argent, armed or, for Vaughan of Devonshire, England. Vaughan of Charlinch in Somerset, Benjamin Vaughan, who died in 1639, rector of Charlinch, son of Hugh Vaughan of London and Exeter, who was steward to the 3rd Earl of Bedford, who was the son of Howell ap Daffyd. Argent and chevron gules between 3 boars' heads couped of the 2nd, armed or, lagood azure on the center of the chevron, a crescent of the 1st within an annulet of the 3rd, crest on a chapeau proper, a boar's heads couped gules, armed or, lagood azure. For Vaughan of Brulton Hall in Shropshire, England, Edward Goldisborough Chambray Vaughan, born 1832, son of Robert, son of Captain Thomas Vaughan, who died in 1804. Ultimately, they descended from Peter Vaughan, who died in 1700. Here we see the family estate of Brulton Hall in the modern day. Ermine, a satire gules for Vaughan of Corsgidal in Merioneth, Wales, descended from Rice Vaughan, alive in the year 1554, son of William, son of Griffith, and he himself had son Richard Vaughan, who was sheriff of Carmarthenshire, who had son Griffith Vaughan, who died in 1616 and was sheriff of Merionethshire. Here we see the family estate of Corsgidal, however it's pronounced. Ermine satire gules, crest a demi-lion rampant, profess or and gules holding in the paws a scroll. Vaughan of Monmouth, Wales. Here a note that says crest granted to Richard Vaughan in 1583. Quarterly coat of arms for Vaughan of Penmyndovie and Cathal in Merioneth, Wales, descended from Einion ap Silt, a chieftain of Merioneth who lived in the 12th century. There was Lewis Vaughan, born 1695, son of John, both of Penmyndovie, who was son of William Vaughan, Esquire, who was the son of John Vaughan, Esquire. Sable, 3 nags' heads erased argent for Sir Griffith Vaughan, born around the year 1395, a Welsh knight who supported the rebellion of Prince Owen against the English. There is a persistent tradition he was in the band of Welshmen who are said to have saved the life of King Henry V when he rushed to the rescue his brother Humphrey, Duke of Gloucester, at the Battle of Agincourt. Gules, 3 bezants, each charged with a lion's head erased argent on the chief or a poleaxe and tilting spear and satire azure between 4 pellets, crest, 3 handguns erect or, and 2 serpents azure entwined about the barrels. For Vaughan of Dover in County Kent, granted to Thomas Vaughan, bailiff, mayor, and member of Parliament for Dover. He served as soldier in Calais, France, and had brother William. Argent on a satire between 3 birds, sable, and a cock and base gules, a cinquefoil of the first between 4 spears and brood proper on a chief of the third, 3 plates, the first charged with the fleur-de-lis azure, the second with a rose gules seated or, the third with a lion rampant of the second, for Vaughan of Payne's Castle in Wales, granted in 1527 to William Vaughan, a doctor of law. And there was a Robert Vaughan I of Prestine and Radnor, a member of Parliament, defendant in the dispute over lands in Payne's Castle, the son of William Vaughan of Glassbury. Sable, 3 hounds current, argent, collared gules. Crest on a mount vert, a hound, sagent, argent, collared gules, for Vaughan of Wigmore in Herefordshire, England. This is a coat of arms of the Wigmore family from Norfolk and was granted to them in 1586. So it looks like at some point there was a mistake here where this either was entered into some heraldic documents incorrectly or perhaps born by the family. For whatever reason, they took the arms of Wigmore. Not sure. Gules on the garb, a bird, argent, beaked and membered gules, holding the beak an ermine spot, a border gaboni or an azure, for Vaughan of Tileglass or Talgarth and Brecknock. Roger Vaughan of Talgarth and Troughton, died in 1514, was the son of Sir Roger Vaughan of Tree Tower and Talgarth, Constable of Cardigan, and daughter of Thomas ap Philip Vaughan of Talgarth. His wife Denise was. Purpale, sable and azure, seamy of crosses crosslet counterchanged, an eagle displayed with 2 heads or, border engraved to the last, for Vaughan of West Tilbury in Essex. Hamo Vaughan of Vaughan's Place in Shrewsbury, Shropshire, Lord of the Manor of West Tilbury, son of Sir Thomas Vaughan, Lord of the Manor of Stepney. Sable, a goat, passant argent, for Vaughan of Lywardiarth in Montgomeryshire, Wales. Owen Vaughan, son of John, son of Howell Vaughan. And Owen had son John Vaughan, alive in the year 1583, Sheriff of Merionethshire, as well as another son named Howell Vaughan. Vert, a chevron between 3 wolves' heads erased argent, for Vaughan of Differin, Hoffnant, Penbrine, all in Carmarthenshire, Wales. Richard Vaughan, alive in the year 1602, and Thomas Vaughan, both of Penbryan. Also born by Howell Vaughan, a draper and burgess in Shrewsbury, England, in 1605, son of Ellis Vaughan of Glanlyn and Merioneth. And he had son Stephen Vaughan, who was admitted to the Drapers' Company in 1623. Gules a garb on a chief argent, 3 boar's heads couped of the first, a border and vet gaboni of the second, and azure. Crest on a garb lying festways or a lion rampant regarding argent, holding in the dexter paw 2 ears of wheat of the first, for Vaughan of Castle Bolth in Brecon, Wales. Hugh Vaughan of Castle Bolth, born 1852, eldest son of Reverend Thomas and Anne Elizabeth, who is the daughter of Hugh Vaughan in Radnor, and he assumed the surname and arms of Vaughan in accordance with the will of his uncle James Vaughan, who died in 1884, surgeon in the East India Company. A quarterly coat of arms granted in 1514 to Sir Hugh Vaughan of Middleton, governor of Jersey. He had 9 children, including a son named Roland Vaughan. Earl of Carberry in the county of Cork was a title created in the Peerage of Ireland in 1628 for the Welsh politician John Vaughan of Golden Grove, who had already been created Baron Vaughan of Mullingar in the county of Westmeath in 1621, son of Walter, son of John, both of Golden Grove, son of Hugh Vaughan of Kidwelly. And here we see Richard Vaughan, the 2nd Earl, as well as John Vaughan, the 3rd Earl. Azure, a mullet argent, for Vaughan of Yorkshire, England. I'm not sure on this one, but there was a Sir Robert or Roger Vaughan of Byland Abbey in Yorkshire, who had a coat of arms confirmed to him in the year 1641. Argent 2 lines passant garden, gules, crowned or, for Vaughan of Montgomery, Wales. Azure, a fess wavy or between 3 swans proper. Vert, a cat passant argent between 9 trefoils slipped or. This one we don't have the escutcheon or shield for, but the crest is on a garb, lying fessways, or a lion rampant regarding argent, holding in the dexter paw 3 ears of wheat, for James Vaughan of Lansantfred House. And it looks like there was Thomas Vaughan, who married the heiress of Newton in that area. Henry Vaughan, born 1621, a poet, had twin brother Thomas Vaughan, who became rector around the year 1644. And later there was Reverend Hugh Vaughan, born 1802, vicar, and he had younger brother James Vaughan, Esquire. Same situation here. Crest, a fleur-de-lis argent for Vaughan of Shropshire, England. And lastly, for Vaughan of England, we know the crest is a lion's paw or holding a tortu. And if you enjoyed this video, please visit us at coadb.com, where we offer genealogy research service. Link in the description. Thank you very much.